This Albion Online video is about addressing the recent Albion news. We're going to talk about the CEO change just for a tiny bit, just a little bit of memes, and then we're going to talk about things that need to change in this game that need to be altered or fixed so that this game can thrive and grow and be profitable for Stillfront, because Stillfront is the company that owns Sandbox Interactive, and if they go under, then this game dies, and we can't play it anymore if the game dies. I also want to talk a little bit about this orange zone rumor I've been hearing. Now, I don't believe leaks until there's a confirmation, because it could just be a collaborated joke between people in the Discord. But let's get into it. So first up, for those that don't know, Robin Hinkes, he's been with the company forever. He's still with the company. He's just not the CEO anymore. He's just going to focus on working on the game, I guess. But if you don't know, he's the guy in the Albion Online YouTube thumbnails that's like cracking his knuckles, and he's usually the head talking guy of, you know, the video, whatever. But yeah, he isn't the CEO anymore. It's some other guys, both named Tobias. It's two different dudes named Tobias. I don't know anything about those guys, but I just want to take a little jab at why I think Robin Hinkes got demoted. So a lot of people don't know, but Robin Hinkes he's pretty lefty, I guess. And real quick, I just want to show a tweet from old Robin Hinkes here. And you can see here, someone says, describe Elon Musk in one word, and Robin Hinkes replied with, sad. And yeah, Robin Hinkes does not like Elon Musk, and what's funny is Robin Hinkes follows eCourt, but he doesn't follow me, and I'm bigger than eCourt, so I don't know what's going on with that. Now, what's funny is Stillfront, for those that don't know, they own Sandbox Interactive. They are the parent, they're the owning company. They bought the company out for like $60 million way back in the day, and here's what's in front of the Stillfront office. I'm going to show you right now. Check this out. I'm going to scroll down, and look what's in front of their office. It's Tesla. So, for those that don't know, Tesla is owned by Elon Musk. And so, you put two and two together. He crap-talked Elon Musk, and he did it multiple times, not just that one time. And so, Stillfront was like, oh, you don't like Elon Musk? Well, he has a Tesla thing in our office building. And, yeah, that happened, right? Oh, and just for funsies, I want to show you Albion Online or Sandbox Interactive's office, or rather their building. So let me show you that, because that's really cool. And let's just go to the old street view here, and this is in Germany. All right, and yeah, so this is the outside of Sandbox Interactive, supposedly. I don't know. I've never actually been here in real life. But you can see there's the Sandbox Interactive logo right there on the wall. So you know that, you know, if you're just walking down the street like, oh, hey, I play that game. Right? So this is what it looks like. It's pretty interesting. Now, I didn't know that Sandbox Interactive was actually in a possible ghetto, because if you're right across the street, look at all that graffiti, man. Holy criminal. Oh, man. And before we go to the next topic, I really need to show you Stillfront's stock price. This is getting scary. This could be the death of Albion. This could be the end of Albion. All right? And so here it is. This is Stillfront Group AB. They own Albion Online. Their current stock price is 4.22 SEK. I don't know what that means. It's a Swedish currency. But if you take 4.0, it went up by 1. Oh, look at that. It just flashed green. That's so cool. Well, anyway, 4.22 SEK is 42 cents in United States dollar-y-do fund monies, okay? So let me show you the complete lifeline of Stillfront. So here's Stillfront when they started back in 2015. They were worth $5.20 when they started, I guess. And you can see here they just they slowly started growing, whatever. Then, you know, a certain virus that hit the planet happened, and they exploded. And I forget when, I think around here is when they bought Albion. I don't remember when. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care. And after they bought Albion, right? And it's only been going down ever since. All right, so it's originally the plot for this video was going to be just a video straight to Stillfront and a video to the new CEOs of Sandbox, and Stillfront also got a new CEO. And I was going to just kind of talk about a few things, how I worked in a retail company for 13 years, and I was that retail company's highest ranked #1 performer in the entire company. And when I started, the stock price was like $10. Okay, that company's stock price was $10. I worked there 13 years, and I was the number one employee, number one manager, the highest ranked manager. Like the company I worked for had a ranking system based on your metrics. And when they open the ranking, like I am right here for PvP fame, you'll see the all-time highest PvP fame guy is Juan. Well, in the retail world of the company I worked at, my name was number one because I had the best attendance and the best scores and the best everything. I was the number one golden boy of that company, 13 years. And I got to talk to the CEO of the company. I got to be in a national commercial for the company. It was a retail company. Yeah, I was on TV as a lead speaker in a commercial. Isn't that cool? And because I worked for the company, they didn't pay me. It was just pro bono. It was like, oh, hey, come be in our commercial and get a few lines. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do that. And let me tell you, you know how much I rose the stock price up being the number one guy? $20 extra. And you know what happened to the stock after I got fired for following a shoplifter? It dropped $10 within the month. That's how much the company suffered without me, right? And I'm just telling you right now, who is Albion Online's number one golden child? Well, it's me. I am the top YouTuber. I am the most famous creator on this game. I'm the most talked about in the chats. I have the most watch time, the most views, and yeah, I may not be like number one in PvP or anything. Obviously, like my PvP fame is 98,000, so I'm pretty low on that. I'm not really a PvP guy. I'm an economy guy. But the thing is I am this game's like number one. Like as far as referral rewards go, hey, look at this. I got 4 to claim today. Boom. Right? Good stuff. Okay. I'm waiting one more day to sell some gold because that's whenever the pop will happen. But enough about that. The thing is that well, what would happen if I actually said good things? Like I'm the number one creator, right? What if Sandbox Interactive and Stillfront were on my side and actually supported me a little and were nice to me? I don't need a lot. I grew up in the ghetto, so the best way to get on someone from the ghetto's good side is just be nice to them. It's like the troll under the bridge. You can defeat and dismantle and disarm a troll by just being nice to them. That's all it takes, right? And well, still, you know, Sandbox Interactive, Stillfront's never done that. I've always been kind of like a cheeky, you know, Saturday morning cartoon villain. I use preschool insults and stuff. Nothing ever serious. But the company, Sandbox Interactive, you know, the guys that run the game Albion Online, they've always not liked me. They've never liked me, right? And so I think that if Stillfront and Sandbox actually, you know, maybe was a little nicer, that I could absolutely turn around that stock price and raise the hell out of it, for one. But also make way more positive changes and be a more positive influence on the game. Because I get a lot of views for the game. And, you know, I'm not saying pay me money. I'm not saying buy me out. I'm not saying anything of the sort. I'm saying just treat me fairly like anyone else, which the game and the company doesn't do. So I've been in-game muted over 5 years now because I called Game Masters Jannies, which is short for janitor. Why is that a perma-mute? Yeah, I said some other nastier things in the chats to people, sure. Why is it a perma-mute? Like, why? Secondly, for whatever reason, if I decide to not really gank, but just beat up an Albion streamer in a yellow zone when they flagged up and fought me first, okay? For those that don't know, like a year or two ago, he's actually an employee of the company, but he masquerades as a regular streamer named Nazori. And he was showing some paid streamer, some pothead guy named Coupons around in the yellow zone. And I was just there, and they were doing a group dungeon. And group dungeons are not exclusive. If people are in a group dungeon, they don't own that dungeon. Anyone can enter and leave it, right? And so I entered the group dungeon, and I didn't flag up on them. I was just standing there. I was kind of hoping they'd just invite me to the party, and we could go smash some stuff around. But Nazori and all of Sandbox Interactive and the whole Twitch culture and all these dorks in Discords sniffing each other's farts and circling the wagons, they don't like me. And it's because I'm too truthful, I'm too brutally honest, whatever. I don't know what the deal is. Either they're left-leaning and I'm right-leaning, who cares? I don't really care. But the point is that, well, they flagged up on me, and so I beat them up because I'm in full 8.4 gear with higher IP than them. Why are they in the yellow zone without the best gear in the game? That's so weird. But anyway, the entire time he's complaining, calling me mentally ill and names, and just, not really making a good face for the game. And I'm just sitting there like, well, I can't talk in the game, but I'm in real life, I'm just laughing. I'm like, we beat up Missouri, whatever. And, he got back up, and I was like, okay, is he going to unflag? Is he going to leave us alone? Is he going to invite me to the party? No, he's going to attack again. So we beat him up again, and then we leave. And then we leave. And what do I get? I get a 2-week ban for it, for quote-unquote harassment. He chose to fight me and lost. It's not harassment. That's self-defense on my part, and it's a yellow zone, and it's allowed, and it's part of the game. And I guarantee you, that Coupons guy, if you go in his Discord as just a random person asking what is his favorite memory of this game, because he doesn't play this game. He got paid allegedly $10,000 to play this game for a few days, and he got like no referrals at all. Okay, so what is his favorite memory? Oh, when that swole guy came and beat and that other dude up there was showing me the game. That's his like favorite memory, like straight up, right? And he thought it was pretty funny. Whatever. But, of course, he's not going to do that when he's getting paid by the literal company that's hand-holding him around the yellows. Anyway, the point is, it's very unfair treatment, okay? But secondly, not only do I have the numbers on YouTube, sorry, editing mistake, but besides the YouTube numbers, the watch time, all that, I'm also the #1 most referred player in the game. As in, when people watch my videos, they click the link, they try out the game. Every time I go play some other game for like 20 to 40 videos, like 2 weeks to a month or two, I always bring that audience, the people that are interested, back over to Albion to play Albion. And I have brought in more people than anyone else. Easily, right? And so, what do I get for it besides like, oh yeah, the gold rewards? Well, that's just the game, like everyone gets that. I don't get free premium like the other streamers. I don't get shouted out on the website, which I don't care for. You don't have to shout me out on your website. Everyone that gets shouted out, I think it was some VTuber, Japanese streamer, and Momo. Like, they don't get views. You don't get views. You don't really get exposure from having your face on the launcher. I don't care about that. But what I do care about is being treated fairly. And so for being the highest watch timed, content creator that's always talked about in the game, the most famous one of all, the most controversial one of all, the one always mentioned on Reddit, what do I get? So if someone makes a thread about me on Reddit, which is heavily controlled by Sandbox Interactive, and it's a hate thread on me, or tries to slander me, or, make fun, or there's death threats, there's plenty of death threats, there's all sorts of just made up BS, fake Discord chat logs, whatever, what have you. Or just people, with random things. Oh, he does this or he did this, and there's no proof, and they never post proof, and they can't post proof because there is no proof. But anyway, the point is that these threads, they get replied to by the community moderators. They don't get deleted, they don't get moderated, the threads don't get locked. But you take another creator who has like maybe 200 subscribers, and his videos get like 50 views, so a literal who nobody. And there's actual proof of him, like, spreading Nazi propaganda. Like, they're just little meme videos with Hitler speeches and, like, crazy, wacky edits. Just right-wing stuff, whatever. I mean, the right-wing doesn't even really associate with that stuff. It's more like edgy Discord Hitler memes, okay? Well, someone got upsetty spaghetti that this particular YouTuber was private messaging people little short clip videos of that, and they, went on to the Albion Reddit to expose him with proof, mind you. And within like an hour or two, the thread's deleted, all the posts are deleted, and funny enough, the posts in that thread chain hating on me for some reason aren't deleted. They left those up, of course, but it's funny though that they'll break a leg. That's not even the right expression. They will go out of their way to control such bad sayings about someone who has no internet presence at all. But if it comes to me, they will encourage it and leave it up for days at a time, and they never moderate or delete it. It's super weird. It's super freaking weird. And there's people that are like, oh, well, you should just apply for the content creator role. And it's like, I did. And Shadowbrick, who is no longer with the company, got rejected. And so with these 3 CEO changes, Robin Hinkes, the person at Stillfront, I think his name is Alexis, I don't know, and then the 2 Tobiases, they can make some positive changes. Also, I don't know who's in charge of the content creator program. for Albion. All right, I don't know who that is, but these new people have the power to right these wrongs, and I'm not a spiteful guy. I'm forgiving. I am totally be like, it makes sense that they did what they did. Whatever, it's cool. Let's work together and promote the game and shill the game. Like, y'all have this. No one has ever seen me in shill mode. The closest you have seen me in shill mode is when I cover Ubisoft games. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Like I covered Skull and Bones. I covered Star Wars Outlaws a little bit. And you'll notice in those videos, I'm very nice about those games, even though we all know those games suck. They're not good games. But instead of making endless videos like everyone else did, everyone else cashed out on the Ubisoft hate. Like right now, they're all hating on that Assassin's Creed Shadows game, and rightfully so, right? But Ubisoft is very nice to me. And so, there's a crying cat in the background. But what I'm saying is, something's got to change. And the first thing is stop, you have a golden child. You have an autistic YouTuber that has almost 900 videos on your damn game. That gets more views than anyone, watch time than anyone. It would be a good idea to have me on your freaking side. And I'm very easy to convince. All I need is a small act of kindness. That's it. Just unmute me and let me pal around with some people in a Discord server or something. I don't know, man. But enough about me. This video's not even supposed to be about me anyway. But the point is that things have got to change. So let's talk about all the actual gameplay changes now. So change number 1 is this game needs way more silver sinks. And I don't mean punishing ones like increasing the trash rate or lowering the drop rate of treasure in solo dungeons. Those are not the kind of silver sinks that we need. I'm talking about things that players want to sink their silver into. I can endlessly come up with ideas. I'm a very creative guy, but the majority of players would want a few of these things. All right, so the first one is let players attune all tiers of weapons in safe zones. So for those that don't know, when you have a 0.4 enchanted weapon, at tier 4s and 5, you can earn attunement points on it to make it more powerful by, leveling in any zone you want. So I have this tier 8.4 Shadowcaller here, and it has attunement points. So this one has 26,309 out of 1.6 million, and it's got some lifesteal on it. Well, the only way to attune a weapon that's above tier 5, so tier 6, 7, and 8, you have to go to a full loot zones. That means red zones and black zones, and kill mobs to level this up to attune it. And if someone comes and kills you, you don't have this legendary, awakened weapon anymore. Whereas tiers 4 and 5, you can attune in save zones. So my first plea, and this is, the majority are going to agree with me on this, and 92% of the player base plays in save zones. 92%. So that means only 8% of the player base can attune a weapon higher than tier 5, okay? And that's BS, all right? I am sitting on billions of silver. Billions! All right? And I have... There's a couple things. Now, a lot of people want to say that rich players like me ruin the economy. Well, not really. I'm sitting on the money. I'm not investing the money. Now, this is only 97 million. I've got it banked away and spread out, okay? But the point is like in total, I have about 10.3 billion right now, and I could get more easily. I can print hundreds of millions a day if I wanted to. But the thing is, I don't want to because I don't need to because I have nothing to buy. That's my problem. That's a lot of the elite players. Like, we just don't like the PvP, all right? I don't like the PvP. Yeah, I could go PvP in 8.3 sets all damn day, and I can climb this stupid rank up if I cared. I don't care. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be giving away my money to people with counter meta builds, with lag switches, radar hacks, and more friends than me, which is everybody has more friends than me. I have no friends. But the point is that I still want to buy things in this game, but there is nothing left to buy. I have every mount, every combat battle mount, which you can't even use in save zones, and that's fine. I don't care about that. But if you just let us attune 8.4 weapons in save zones, I would easily dump multiple billions into these weapons. Easily. And not only that, but you still have to play the game and kill mobs to level these up anyway. And that's a good month of a grind in save zones. because you took away the statics in solo and group dungeons, so it's going to take even longer. And I would attune, I'm telling you right now, I would attune every weapon. That would be like a game goal for an in-game player such as myself. So if I'm willing to dump a couple billion into this one weapon, and the game has like 100 weapons, that's 10 years of playtime you would easily get out of me, okay? But because I can't attune this, and I'm not okay with attuning a crappy tier 0.4, 0.5. Am I lagging out here? Like, here's a 4.4 light crossbow. I've got it attuned up. This didn't really cost all that much. And again, I could do this in save zones. It's, like, I don't ever use this. I've used this one time in a red zone, and I didn't die. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm one and done. But, you know, I have the 8.4 light crossbow, which I would love to attune, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm definitely not going to risk it, ever. All right, now, I know I risk a few of these weapons, but it was kind of a desperation. Like, I needed this bow to kill one particular guy in an opposing faction fight, and that's it. It was like I kind of had to do it, right? Because no one else was going to do it. And that guy has a guild, and that guy gets to attune all his weapons with his guild completely safe and risk-free. Whereas the majority of players aren't in guilds, and they're not willing to bend the knee and suck toes to be in a guild, so there's... They're just stuck, hoarding money and with nothing to spend it on. And like I said, yeah, I could totally max out more things, but the way this game is designed, like, this character is a max potion crafter. I maxed out in a single day with like 350 million silver, 450 million. I don't know how much I blew. It was way too much. But because I have this, and I would spend my focus on this if I even had premium, if I even cared, there's no reason to max cooking on this character. There's no reason to max crop growing, even though he's got a couple things maxed, because back in the day, that's what I did. Like, there's just no reason to spin focus on anything else, right? And the only reason I have, like, crafting levels into this is because I wanted to be the first guy to have an Astral Staff on day one of the new weapon coming out, because it was a banger weapon, whereas none of the new weapons are bangers. They all suck compared to this, so why would I switch, right? But anyway, the point is that we don't, us wealthy players, we do not have a silver sink that we want to sink into. New players... The only silver sink they have is auto-respec. They have investments to make more silver. They have guild islands and laborers and furniture. Yeah, okay. That's, you know, that's a good 3 months to a year, depending on how slow they farm silver. But for 92% of the player base, we run out of stuff to buy. Once you bought and collected every mount, every combat mount, every weapon, 8.4... You're maxed in all the specs and masteries, and you have just endless stacks of, like, 8.3 poison potions. Like, this stack is 35 million. I'm never gonna... I'm not, like, how many? I have 100 of these. Like, I might bring a couple out every once in a while for a meme. I have, like, a stack of 997 Berserker potions worth another 30 million. Like, these things are just... They're just gonna sit forever in my chest. They're not gonna be put back in the economy. I'm not gonna go out and die with them for someone else to loot. Like, if I were to quit the game, all of this stuff just disappears forever. I have no reason to sell it or anything, right? I would rather just, why would I sell it and quit when I could just quit and come back and still have it, right? And so the only way to, like, really invalidate these items is power creep. 9.3, 9.4, the players quit after that. They're sick of the infinite endless ladder climb, the infinite treadmill. They don't want that. You gotta have other ways and better ways of silver sinks. And so just let us attune our weapons in safe zones. Alright, the majority of players play safe zones, and the majority of us, we are gatekept from having these cool awakened weapons. Alright? Alright, more silver sinks. Now, this one is a little controversial, but focus, okay? For those that don't know, focus is something that you get over real life time. So you get 10,000 focus a day, assuming you have premium active. I don't have premium active, but I have 16,000 on my character here. And yes, there are potions that kind of do this. Let us buy potions with silver. Now, here's the thing, right? You're going to make these potions so expensive that they're not worth using for profit, okay? Like, this potion gives you 20,000 focus. Well, to me, that's 10 million silver, okay? 20,000 focus is 10 million silver to me. That's how much I can make with 20,000 focus. So what you would have to do is figure out, like, just I don't know, you guys have the analytical data to figure this out, but you would have to figure out how much, what is the ceiling for focus earnings, and then charge maybe 1.5 that amount. So let's say the most you can earn with 20,000 focus is, 10 million silver. It's not. You can earn way more than that, but that's how much I can earn. And so you would charge 15 million silver for this potion. People would buy this, and I'm going to tell you why they would buy this. Because they would want to level up their crafting faster or something. Like, for instance, I don't really have a good example of this, but if you used focus on things, you would get that resource return, and that resource could be really rare and hard to get. But, if they're just power leveling a crafting, they're going to... Whales will spend an infinite amount of money to get a task done as fast as possible, because in real life, they are earning dollars per minute or something. I don't know. But their time is more valuable than waiting days for their focus to fill up, all right? The next thing would be skins, and I don't mean every skin. I don't mean the skins you can pay with real money or with gold, because if you go to the skin shop, and I'm not really good at finding the shop here, but if you go to like the vanity skins, you can buy the assassin bundle and the blah 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 blah, right? I'm not talking about these things. Make the paid with real money skins continue to be paid with real money. What I'm talking about is insanely whale-specific expensive skins. I'm talking... think of it like this, okay? One thing I like to do is peacock around whenever the Albion TV dorks are streaming, okay? And they're out, and what happens is Bogle and Lupac or whoever, they'll sit in town. They'll sit in town, and they'll just chill while they talk. And then I'll come up, and I'll start casting spells and throwing money around. And speaking of throwing money, this is a skin-specific ability. Look, people will pick it up. It's amusing to me, right? Yes, it costs me 5,000 every time I push this button. I have enough money, I don't care. I think it's hilarious, right? But the point is, look at this naked guy picking it up. See, that's amusing, right? Now, in order to get this skin, I had to spend silver. And again, this is a good silver sink in the economy tab. So I had to, buy items. I had to do all this crap, right? Like, spend 10 million silver on items. Spend 100 million silver on items. So, day one, as soon as this skin came out, yeah, I spent 100 million in the market, just buying whatever. Look, spend 1 billion silver. Okay, I'm at 232 million, right? I don't buy anything anymore in this game. I don't even use this character to flip, okay? But imagine if you got a specific skin for this, or whatever, which, for the economy tab, you do. After you unlock 60%, you get the decadent robe. And if I really wanted to push it, you can get the exorbitant robe, which lets you throw multiple piles per button push. And maybe one day I'll do this, but the only thing keeping me from ever bothering with this is the city plot stuff. I'm not going to do the city plot stuff ever, so I'm never going to get that skin. But the point is that if you just went to the the merchant that sells the vanity items, right? And there were skins you could buy for silver, and I'm talking lots of silver, right? Like, imagine a skin with angel wings, and it gave you the ability to float up in the sky that you couldn't use outside of town. You could just float around in the sky so that my nameplate is bigger, that my character model is bigger because it's closer to the camera, much like the Sky Strider bow that lets you jump in the air. That makes your character model bigger. So I would be flying around on your screen with angel wings, just kind of flying around, whatever, for like 5 seconds before I land and have a 1-minute cooldown. Just something silly like that. If you made a skin that did that, and you put it available for players to buy for 1 billion silver, you're going to have a lot of people buy that, myself included, okay? So you need to have skins for sale for silver, and people will buy the hell out of them, as long as the skins aren't ugly or stupid, okay? Just cool things, like, how about, like, Dragon Ball Z when, like, Goku powers up, he's got, like, the fire all around him, or whatever it is, the chi, I don't know what it's called, where he's like, huh? How about a skin that does that? Like, right now, I have a skin that summons a little bunny. Wow, look at that. Now, imagine a skin that summoned something else, and you put it for, like, 10 million or something, I don't know. People would buy the hell out of these skins. They would just instantly buy them. And that would be money taken out of the economy, which is good for everybody, right? What about awakening everything? Like mounts or just armor and stuff. So let me explain. Like, imagine, like, you have like, this guy, he's got a transport ox. And he awakens his transport ox as much as possible with more carry weight, or slightly more armor, or even gallop speed or something, right? That dude is gonna love the hell out of that ox, okay? And people are going to want awakened mounts. They're going to really want awakened mounts. You can even make it like an island activity. Like you have to send them to the ox races, or hire an ox trainer or something, or whatever. I don't know, but just make it cost a bunch of silver. Just make it, just give us something to dump our silver into, okay? Then you have like maybe something to speed up laborers. Like laborers take basically a full day. It's not a full day. It's like 22 hours or something. Give us a way to pay money to make like all those phone games, you know, all those little gotcha phone games. Like you can complete this now rather than wait 8 hours, right? But in this case, you pay with silver, not real money. And then the laborers are completed. And even though the laborers' entire point is to give us money, I would absolutely, like, if I just want to do laborers all day because I have a million journals filled, I would gladly pay and lose half my earnings just to get it done faster, okay? So instead of waiting, you know, like 10 days, I would rather have 5 days of profit in a couple hours, so to speak. But you could adjust it to be like 80% less or 90% less. So I'm taking 10 days worth of journals and getting 1 day's worth of rewards just so I can clear the journals out and refill them. I don't know, guys. You would have to figure this stuff out, you know, amongst your little game dev friends or whatever. All right. What about something to auto-complete? Like, I would love to pay money to, like, the guy on an island. Like, you just go to your island and you pay a dude. And he just automatically harvests the crops for you. Like, here's an island that a good lad gave to me. He went off to play Europe, which is another thing. Why is there a server split? We don't, you know, they all went off to play Europe without me. Like, look at my friends list. Like, last seen 7 months ago. 1 year, 4 months. 1 year, 4 months. 3 years, 10 months. That guy's gone. All right? He had a baby. He ain't coming back. Okay? But, yeah, like instead of having to harvest all of this wheat, and imagine this whole island was wheat fields, right? What if I just paid, like, this lady here? Just pay her, like, you know, 50K or something, and then boop, all the wheat gets sucked in my inventory immediately. I would love that. People would pay that even though they're losing money by not doing it manually. They would still do. Or how about something that you just pay, you know, a person and they automatically water all your crops. It automatically deducts all your focus that you would need to water those crops, and you're done. You don't have to manually run to each plot and water each little bit. Or how about like a special watering can that lets me water all 9 plots in 1 click or something? I don't know. There's so many things that you can milk us for silver, all right? So we definitely need that. So next up, I want to talk about the fame grind, because the fame grind was in a good place, and all of my fans, and actually the majority of PvE players, all had a similar goal. The goal was, once they learn the game and get their economy going and get some good Gucci gear, they would then use that 8.4 gear to do group dungeons and solo static dungeons to earn even more fame, which means even more money spent on satchels and even more money spent on auto respec. So that was, again, in and of itself, a silver sink. But now that you've nerfed all of that and you force us to go to the black zone, or there's a certain zone you can go to, channel members have this info. I'm not going to talk about it publicly, because if everyone does it, then no one can do it. But the point is that you're forcing us into full loot zones to get the optimal fame grind, and I'm okay with that. But here's the thing. You've ruined the fun for 92% of the player base in favor of that 8% so that they will have more meat in the grinder. Whereas what you should have done is just left the fame values alone and given... this guy says fucking Jannies. What you should have done is buff the black zones to give more fame so that the true min-maxers would rather go to the black zone than do the static dungeons. Whereas when people want to be casual and laid back, like if they have friends over, if they don't want to pay attention to the game, if they're at the gym on their phone or something, they can still go to the statics and do that fame grind. But now, the fame grind in blue and yellow zones are so bad that there's just not a point to grind at all in them. There's just not a point to do them at all. Otherwise, it's a complete time waste. And that sucks, and people are just going to quit. They're not going to go man up and go PvP and get run over by guilds and radar hackers. They're just going to go play something else where the game lets them do the thing that they want to do. You know what I've been playing for the past, like, month? I've been playing a game called Once Human. You know what I do in Once Human at least 4 hours a day? I run dungeons. That's all I do. I go into the dungeon, I kill the bosses, and I get the loot, and I just repeat and do that a million times over while I listen to music and then watch anime and cartoons and movies, okay? And there's not been any good of that lately. I'm going to try out the Devil May Cry anime. Yeah, you get the idea. The point is that I haven't been playing Albion. Like, let's look at my completion for the month. Oh, look. We're 4 days in. I'm at 0. I'm at 0, 4 days in. None of this has been complete. What about my faction PvP? 0. 0 for the month. Whoops. Right? How about the full loot zone stuff? Well, I mean, this just it's 21 hours that resets? Okay, whatever. So that doesn't reset yet. But, yeah. I mean, come on. I'm your #1 guy. I'm not playing. Clearly something's wrong here. So a lot of players don't realize this, but back in 2019, when the game went free to play, or early 2020, you could make 2 million silver an hour doing Yellow Zone solo dungeons. And back then, premium cost 6 million silver, okay? That means in 3 hours of grinding a Yellow Zone dungeon with an 8.3 at the time, 8.3 was the highest, best gear in the game, you could clear a dungeon floor in 1 minute and 45 seconds, and you would get, again, 2 million silver per hour, and that is with premium, so without premium, it's still over 1 million an hour. And it was okay fame at the time. There wasn't really much better fame. Like, the open world didn't give that much. So it was at the time a good fame farm and a great way for players to make silver, to build capital, and do things they want to do in the game, like grow crops, have premium, and so on and so forth. It was awesome. But you know what? They just constantly nerfed it. Nowadays, you can barely break 400k an hour in 8.4 awakened gear. And, you know, some people are like, well, that's how it should be. How about instead, what it should be is that the red and black zone and the mists and all the other stuff that you want us to go do just earned more silver. Like, why would I go to a red or black zone to earn 10% more silver when I'm dying every 8 minutes? And, oh, skill issue, skill issue. No, it's not a skill issue. It's a friends issue. It's a not having radar hacks issue. It's not having a meta set to fight and escape gankers issue. Yeah. All right, I don't want to fame farm at a snail's pace in an escape set, okay? I just don't want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just not going to play that zone. It's that simple. So, again, a new player these days, they have to grind like 50 to 60 hours, making 200 to 500k an hour as they start out to even afford premium. And another thing, too, we'll talk about is the cost of premium. Look at the game's graphics. Look at it. Can you even see my You can't even see my character's lips, okay? Like, look at this game. Look at this game. Look at this redheaded guy run. Okay, he went into the bank. Like, everyone's got hats and stuff on, so it's a little hard to see. Like, okay, we can kind of see this guy's beard, and like that's it. I don't know. Look at the game. Look at the game's graphics. Look at the game's gameplay. We have like what, 7 abilities that we can use at a time. Whoa, right? Why are you charging $15 a month? Anyone else can go play a AAA MMORPG with hundreds of skills. Like, when I play World of Warcraft, I have, like, 20 buttons I can use. I can cast an entire spell book of different spells all at once. And this guy says, all hail Soul Benji, the Yellow Zone ganker. I haven't ganked Yellow Zones in, like, a year, bro. And they're saying Janie's muted Soul Benji. See, look, I am so famous the chat is talking. I told you. I'm not making this stuff up. But the point is why does premium cost so much? Even in-game money, it costs, that's the wrong menu. It costs almost 30 million silver. That's not, like, if I started this game now, I would have quit a long time ago. I'd be like, that's too expensive. How much to pay real money for it? $15 a month? Bro, like, in my part of the world, minimum wage and bills and the cost of food and the cost of living, even with roommates, I would maybe be able to afford premium in 3 months, okay? And that's living as reclusively and as Spartan and as minimalistically as possible. So are you saying that your game is so good that only the upper middle class are allowed to play it? Have you looked at your player base? Have you been into a Discord lately and listened to the chat? All those ZVZ videos you love to shill on your front page? Have you listened to the people talking? All right? That is not your demographic. Your demographic is people who can't afford a powerful PC to play your game. Your demographic is people playing on phones, children, and your demographic is the lower poverty class of gamer. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I'm right there with them. I'm also a poverty gamer, okay? I was gifted my computer, though, by fans, so I can actually play the AAA games, but I choose to play this anyway. The point is that you need to go back in time and make premium cost $5 real-life dollars and not 15. It used to be $5. All right, people were paying. I guarantee you, more people were paying $5 than they are for 15. Like, if you make it 15 a month, you're losing like 80% of your customers. Okay, and if they're paying $5, those people, oh, it's just $5. You know, they pay that much for a cup of coffee, right? 15? That's maybe a meal at McDonald's. Maybe. I think a meal at McDonald's is $18. I don't know. I don't eat at McDonald's. Okay. Not even the McChicken, okay, even though I say that copy pasta for me, it's the McChicken. You get the idea. The bots have to go. The scouting bots, the people AFK naked on an ox in PvP zones who automatically scan you and flag you and ping a Discord server so that the gankers can come and liberate your loot. They have to go. You have to figure out how to get rid of these bots, and it has to be soon because people will just quit because they know that they are at an unfair advantage because they don't have GeForce Now accounts running 24/7 that beep boop their Discord when there's a juicy target. They're just not going to play the game anymore, all right? Next up is gathering bots. But the gathering bots gather the tier 2 material, make it real cheap, and I really like the gathering bots because they make the economy better. No. The majority of people that play a game like this, and I speak as the majority, want to chop the virtual trees. They want to pick the virtual cotton. They want to do the virtual chores. That's why a lot of us play this game as a cozy game and not le full looted le PvP game, okay? So, because of these gathering bots, it unincentivizes most people to ever gather at all. Next up is dungeon chest scanning bots. These bots, what they do, and you could follow them around, they will enter solo dungeons, and they will stand at the entrance, and they will scan the dungeon. And if the dungeon does not have at least a purple chest, they leave. If it does have a purple chest, they will then run the dungeon, and these are bots and not real humans. They will then run to the purple chest, and then not even finishing the dungeon, they will just leave if the final boss also isn't a purple or better, or if there's multiple floors. They're just scanning the first floor because apparently the bot can't be bothered to go to floor 2 or 3 or whatever. But yeah, if there's not a purple chest on floor 1, they just leave. And so, once you find a bot, you could just follow the bot, and then rush ahead and kill everything, or kill the boss, let the bot clear the trash mobs for you, and loot the chest. Oops, but solo dungeons, that'll get you, like, again, the bots are slow, it's not even gonna earn you 400k an hour, and, oh, well, who cares? They're not earning that much money. I care, everyone cares. They have an unfair advantage. When you think that a bot isn't earning silver, you're an idiot. Now, people aren't just using one account to bot. They are using an entire wall of phones or computers to do the botting. And so, this one dungeon bot is actually 100 bots, all farming 200k an hour, which is 20 million an hour. Wow. They make 20 million an hour doing nothing with no human interaction whatsoever. It's not fair. It's unfun. I don't want to play around bots, okay? And, yeah, they faction flag up, too, so you can't gank them or beat them up or anything, okay? Next up is market bots, and this includes the people that auto-scan the markets, and especially the black market ones, too. This includes the people that auto-buy and resell and populate the markets and whatnot, and it's very clear when they're doing this, okay? And a lot of people do this, and they make hundreds of millions a day. They don't even need a wall of phones. They just need, like, one account to do this. And they can just flip and flip and flip and flip and flip, and they automatically calculate every single thing. When something is below market value, they buy it out immediately. They go, and then they transmute it or whatever they do, and it's super unfair for those of us that have to do this stuff manually. Alright, next up is the Avalonian Road Mapper bots. Now, this is mostly an Asia server problem, but there's a company that sells this service, and what they do for your guild, this is mostly for guilds, is they will map the roads near your guild's hideout for you. It takes them about an hour, and it's like 10 or 15 little bots, and they all spread out to each road, and then within the hour, you know, for a while, you have all the best routes to towns, the quickest transport routes, etc., etc. It's a huge, massively unfair advantage, alright? There's even Discords that sell the information across all roads so that you know the fastest way to get to anywhere in the game. And I think they charge like $15 a month or something. I'm not advertising for them, I'm just telling you that they exist. The Fame Grind bots, you know what these are. They just run around the open world and kill stuff. That's all they do. Again, that's not fair. I don't know how much fame they're getting a day. I've never found a bot owner that would come clean with this info. Heart transport bots, we all know these. I love to gank these, but they've gotten a little smarter lately. They've gotten a little more armored, and so I can't kill them solo anymore. But they are free money if you have friends, and I don't have friends, but it's still unfair because they're heart transporting, and these things are making around 700k an hour per bot. And if you gank them, they lose quite a bit. But again, I can't do this by myself. And I can't raise up enough people to go and murder these things. Also, the bot owner, like some of the bot owners just DDoS you and knock you offline whenever you gank them. So it's kind of annoying to deal with. Twitch stream bots. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that AFK in a stream and collect a skin and then sell it on a website. No, I'm talking about Goldinium and all these other dudes that hump a wall all day. And they just have a 24/7 stream, streaming nothing, and not interacting with anyone. They're just a screen. They're just a screen that says, "Mammoth giveaway, dude!" And then people sit in the chat getting nothing. I don't know a single person that's ever won a Mammoth from these things. I've even tried on multiple accounts. Alright, and I think it's a fake giveaway. I don't think they're giving away nothing. Literal no proof other than them giving it to their alt accounts. But anyway, the point is that these things have to go. This is more of a Twitch problem than the game's problem. But here's the thing, like, say you're a new player. Any smart gamer who wants to invest money and time into a game, you know the first thing that they do besides watch a YouTube video on the game? They go to Twitch and they see, what does the Twitch look like? How many people are streaming the game? How many people are watching the game? And then they go to Albion, and half the streams at the top of the list are robots, AFK bot accounts that aren't even playing the game. And it's like, oh, this game is like some weird AFK phone idle game. No thanks, and then they leave. So you as a company, SBI, Stillfront, you have to punish these players that do this. If Goldinium loses his account or gets just banned for 2 weeks, I don't give a shit, and you tell him, stop doing that, then maybe he will actually play the game and talk to his viewers or something. All right? Now, next up is the Reddit poster bots. There's a lot of these, and they're just parroting like really old info that is out of date. And some of these are real people, but again, if you're a new player, what do you do besides go to Twitch and YouTube? You go to Reddit and you read threads. And yes, I get that a lot of these bots are also AstroTurf bots, and they're just trying to fake that the game is actively being talked about, but it's very obvious who these bots are, and they're just saying all of the wrong things, and they're just not healthy for the game. You want real people, real organic people talking about your game, not bots to make an SEO algorithm in your favor for Reddit. Cheaters also have to go, and we'll start with the radar hacks. That's people who have an on-screen overlay that lets them see outside of nameplate range slightly, not too far, but it also lets them, some of the stronger ones, lets them see invisible people whenever they shouldn't be visible. It shows rare resources, players, what they're wearing, their cooldowns on their skills. It gives them a crazy amount of awareness that a normal player cannot have at all. Next up is speed hacks. This lets the player run faster. This is not a boot skill. This is someone who toggles a hack, and while dismounted on foot with no boots ability active, they can outrun your mount, your lizard mount, and always stay on top of you and kill you. All right, it's very, like, speed hacks right now, they're a little rare, but they still exist. Mobility, skill, range hacks. This one has been going on a lot on Asia and Europe, and this is like whenever you cast an ability that moves your character in a direction, there's a hack that like triples the distance. It's kind of funny to see it, but it really sucks to die to it, okay? But like, there are Avafist users that are zooming around the map. I also forgot to mention cooldown reduction hacks. So someone that can spam an ability when it should be on cooldown, like Deathgiver E, just hit it 10 freaking times in a row with non-stop Deathgiver E's. And I know it has a cooldown mechanic. I know it has a reset mechanic, but you can't cast it 10 times in a row back to back to back. That is not how Deathgivers works. And so when you see a player do that, you can't even fight that. You're just dead, okay? We have hacks that let you walk on water. I have seen people do it. I have seen people botting in the water within nameplate range where there's no way they can be in the middle of the damn lake fishing. I have had yellow zone people running from me that ran over water. Like, it's a yellow zone. Why are you cheating? Right? Now, here's a controversial one. All forms of scams and impersonations. Now, I think that the original OG crew, which would be Robin Hinkes and his cronies, liked scams and impersonators because it made the game more brutal and lifelike and like a slap of reality. And they probably respect other games that allow these things. But here's the reality of allowing scammers, impersonations, guild ninja looters, etc. If you're a new player and you get scammed out of a week's worth of playtime because you accepted a duel from some guy who had a gimmick where he like traps you in a wall and you can't escape and then you get forfeited or some crap, well, you just quit the game. You just quit and go play something else. If you fall for a scam and you lose all your good stuff, you just go play something else. If you are someone, or if it falls for an impersonation, like someone impersonating staff, which is against the rules, or someone impersonating me, which a lot of people impersonate me, and they're like, I'm a YouTuber, give me your silver. It's like, I'm muted. I can't even talk to people, right? But the point is that these people get scammed, and then they, like, I've seen people rage post that I have stolen their money, and it's like, I have to, like, you know, have someone on my behalf contact them on Reddit, because I don't have a Reddit account, and like, bro, that wasn't the real Soul Benji. Like, yes, it was. And like, no, it wasn't. That was some dude with 2 J's in his name or something. Okay, but I don't even think he scams. But the point is that impersonations also got to go, and I think they're funny. I think the ones that troll with my name are funny. The ones that steal money, whatever. I mean, they're teaching good life lessons. Better to get scammed in a video game than in real life, I suppose. But next up is DDoS. These are drop hacks, okay? If you're winning a fight, they drop hack you so that you get disconnected, and then they kill you. Lag switches. If you start fighting someone and they're teleporting around the map and going crazy and then teleporting back to where they were, it's not that their connection's bad most of the time. It's that they're lag switching. And so this, I don't know how to fix this. Every game has a lag switch problem, so I don't even know if it is fixable, honestly. Scripters. Now, this one is a very niche thing that a lot of people don't know about, but scripters are people that run a hack or a bot program that makes them play perfectly in PvP. Imagine a light crossbow PvPer that always lands his Q shots, he always dodges your skill shots, and yeah, they could just be really good at the game, but when the game client is doing it for them, and there's actually one YouTuber, his name sounds kind of like a prison in the United States, a certain bay, okay, of the Guan. We'll call him that. That's his name. Yeah, he's using a phone emulator mouse script thing that plays the game for him. But anyway, enough about that dude. By the way, his channel's completely dead because he stopped buying views because he got called out. Thanks, community. Anyway, next up is guild management. I wrote scan and assist tools. Okay, so what is a guild management scan or assist tool? These are tools or third-party programs that assist guilds in seeing who's looting what, who's getting the loot, where the loot's going, if it trashed or not. Like, if I kill someone, I don't know what trashed until I open the menu and look at it. But these guys, they instantly know if a corpse is valuable, and they will just not even waste time clicking on it to peruse through it. But also, these scan everything that every other player is looting, so they know who has what loot. So if one of their big juicy tanks dies and the enemy loots it, and I know some of this is in the chat log or whatever, then they know who to go kill and get their loot back. But most importantly, they know who to scream at or accost if someone is sneaking gear. And I don't think this is a good thing to have. But there's a lot of other assist tools as well that guilds use. And even I have been the victim of one of these tools. Like, I was doing some Hellgates with a streamer over a year ago. And, like, no one explained the rules. They were just like, hey, come play 10v10 Hellgates. And we did, and I killed a guy. And I opened the inventory, and because I had already drank my potion in the fight, I needed a potion because the fight was still going on. So I quickly picked up this dude's potion, popped it in my inventory slot, and back then you could swap potions mid-combat, whatever. And I had 6 people screaming at me at the top of their lungs because I looted a corpse I wasn't supposed to. And I was like, well, I didn't know because you didn't tell me. I just looted this potion. And so I tested it again. I was like, how do they know? So I waited for the next Hellgate fight, and then deep in the middle of the fight, we kill a guy. And I make sure that, like, I just instantly, like, open the menu, click something, and then continue fighting, right? And everyone is in the middle of fighting, hitting their cooldowns, moving around, dodging attacks. And again, I get hit by the same, oh, you looted, Swolbidge, you looted, right? And it's like, I was like, okay, you got to show me how you know this. And they shared the screen on Discord, and they showed me. As soon as they showed because they're recording the footage, they showed me the footage. And here's what happens on their screen. As soon as I looted the thing, they have a program that goes, and it says in AI voice chat, Swolbidge has looted, all right? And it's like, holy crap. This is some World of Warcraft add-on crap. What the hell is this? And they're like, oh yeah, we use that to make sure people aren't stealing stuff that's ours, and blah, blah, blah. And, they explained it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, is that allowed? And they're like, I don't know. That was the response. It was, I don't know. So these things have to go, man. They have to go, okay? And then the last one is a very minor complaint. DPS meters or third-party tools. These same guys pulled up DPS meters in the Hellgates, and they were like, oh, Swolbidge was the highest DPS. I was running Cursed Skull, and I beat everyone in DPS, which is kind of interesting in 10v10, right? Like, oh, yeah. Swolbidge got top #1 DPS. Wow. I'm like, how'd you know that? This game doesn't have, like, a DPS thing, right? And then I've seen it in YouTuber videos. They're like, they have these little on-screen little trackers that show their fame per hour, their silver per hour, their DPS. And I have had so many people like, you should download this program off GitHub, and you should show the true DPS without having to fight a target dummy in your videos. And there's a bunch of third-party tools that show all sorts of things like this, that like track your island's progress and does spreadsheets for you. And I've even seen spreadsheets that you just click buttons and type in what you want to buy, and it just does all the math for you immediately. And most of these are behind paywalls. There's even a few guys, not one, but a few guys that have offered me money to shill their paid-for spreadsheet, right? And I'm like, man, we just got to make these free. These things have to... I know it's really hard to, like, enforce some of these, but they've got to go. It's cheating. All right, next up is the server splits killed the freaking game. Everyone knows this. And there was a money... Like, I dug real deep into figure out why did they split the servers. And this was more of a Stillfront decision than I think a Robin Henke's decision. But essentially, because I had to peruse through endless investor conference calls, transcripts, and Stillfront things. And essentially what it boils down to is that the North American audience only makes up 30% of the revenue earned from Albion Online, and that there was way more money to cater to the rest of the world. So it was a money decision for this. But here's the thing. What you did was everyone that's too invested in the America server, like who has hundreds of islands and, endless things, and who's played the game for like 5 years, we're not re-rolling or starting over just to play with everyone else that didn't invest the same amount of time. We're just going to go play something else. So instead of losing that 30% of your revenue player base, which over time, like I don't pay for premium. I don't even re-premium up. I don't care, right? Instead of losing that 30%, all you had to do was just make it shards. So for those that don't know what a shard is, instead of a separate server, what you do is you can instead, like say right now I'm in Bridgewatch Americas, right? 52 players are here. In other MMORPGs, you click a button and you teleport to a different shard, and that shard would be Europe or Asia. Now, I know this makes it really weird or unfair, like, because you can go to a zone and there's too many people, so you change shards and there's less people. But everyone would like this change. I don't think anyone would hate this other than gankers, maybe. Because, like, if people are running from gankers and you switch shards and the gankers have to switch shards, who knows? But I think the gankers would actually end up loving it, because when there's no juicy targets, they switch shards, and suddenly they have a juicy target. You know? But you could also give it a cooldown. Like, you can give it, like, a 2-hour cooldown. You can make it take 10 minutes to channel before you switch shards or something, right? And here's another reason why. A lot of people want to play with their favorite streamer, all right? But I can't go pester Mogdun because he's on Europe, so when he's doing something silly like a donkey race, and I want to go bonk people with a bedrock mace and speed them up and have them win the race, I can't do that because I don't play on Europe. And I'm not going to start over just to do that. I'm just going to go play on America's server or something, okay? And there's just a lot of things like that. A lot of people lost their friends because they wanted better ping, so they went to Asia. But oops, I'm not in Southeast Asia, and my ping sucks over there. But if I have, I'll open my friends list once again. They all went to Europe. Everyone went to Europe. Everyone went to freaking Europe. So if they're online and they're like, hey, Swabidgy, come to Europe and we'll do dungeons. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother. And then I'll spend, the 10 minutes channeling a shard to go to Europe, and then when we're done playing, I'll channel my shard back to Americas for 10 minutes and go make a sandwich or something, if I could even afford bread and meat. I wish, right? And then I'll be happy, right? But no, you're making people just start over, and you're like, oh, it's a hardware, like Robin Hinkes, it's a hardware issue. No, it isn't. Every other game does it. Why can't you do it, huh? Lazy much? And look, I get that, initially these new servers had the appeal, but I'm going to tell you right now, economically and as far as content goes and as far as player progression goes, all the servers are the same at this point, okay? Like, if I go to Europe, there are people just as progressed on the Destiny board as my character that's been playing 5 years, okay? The economy, it's almost the same. Some prices are a bit cheaper, some are a bit more expensive. I think fishing is a little more profitable on Europe, especially because no one wants to fish. Europe has it's funny because, like, Europe has a problem where no one crafts stuff. So all the people crafting make a lot more money. Whereas Asia has, like, too many people crafting stuff and no one makes as much money. And, it's just interesting. It's a little different economy things. And you could there's a way to make shards work for this stuff, okay? All right, quick off-topic intersect here. Remember earlier when I talked about if the company treated me nicely and fairly, which is all that I ask, then the outcomes would be different. So here we are in my comment section, and you'll see here this guy says, I'm thinking of starting an account. Is it worth it to start? I used to play WoW and OSRS, which is old school RuneScape. What build is the best to choose? Appreciate it. And so my reply right now, because you, the company Stillfront SBI, hate my guts and mistreat me and blah, 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 so I tell them the truth. Nah, this game is cooked. Honestly, it's better to play something else. Reply. That's my reply. Guess what my reply would be if y'all were nice to me and showed just a little bit of kindness and fairness? I'd be like, oh man, it's free and get started right away. I'll help you out, and the best build is blah blah blah, and I would just go on and on and on and just basically praise the game, right? And you may be thinking, but Swolbenji, your income relies on this game and you should be praising it. No, I'm gonna be honest with people. I'm gonna be very honest with people to a game that literally mistreats me. So, like, again, I'm muted. I can't even talk to... I'm the most famous player in the game, and I can't talk to my fans. Look, I have people messaging me, like, hold on. Yeah, look. Like, all day, every day. I can't reply to them. Do you know how annoying it is to be able to, like, I can throw money at people, and they love that, but I can't be like, hey, man, what's 2 + 2? 4? Oh, hey, here's some money, Like, I love throwing money around. But the point is that if I'm on your side, it's very easy to get me on your side. Then that stock price go up and player count go up easy. All right, we need an in-game translator. All the new modern MMORPGs that have come out in the last 5 years all have this functionality. Every single one of them, even regular games have this. Right now, I just got a message from this guy. He said, I don't know what he's saying, so I'm not going to say it out loud. But what I'm going to do is screenshot this and have an AI translate it for me real quick. But imagine that I could just click a button and translate to English and then read what this guy is saying. I think that would really make the game a lot more user-friendly. So apparently this guy, according to AI, said, "Bro, don't waste more money if you don't want to give me what I need." What is... Okay, so this is China Chan. He's right there. And he thinks I'm wasting money. So there you go. And he picks it up. And he's getting taxed, which is my next thing I want to talk about. So guilds in this game currently basically operate to screw over new players. Most of them... This is known as potato farming guilds. And this guy is just like hovering around me. He's played it long enough. He's got some money. Again, guilds mostly exist. What they do is they mass recruit whoever they can in starter zones. You'll see this when you get off the boat as a new player from Tutorial Island. There'll be someone waiting for you to invite you to their guild, or they'll be spamming to join their guild, whatever. And what happens is they get taxed. And so every silver that you... Like, I'll show you again with this dude. I'm throwing some money. And there we go. He got taxed 200 silver out of 4,000. I don't know the math on that. I don't care. But every cent adds up. And so as a new player, you're getting screwed over. And what they're going to do is most guilds will just groom a new player into being a cog in a machine, into doing something that they want you to do. So they'll be like, "Oh, bro, you should go healer. We'll help level you up." And they'll like take you on a few dungeons, and then they expect you to level up the rest yourself. And then you've spent, the last month leveling up druid staffs, only to find out that it's the worst IP scaling weapon in the game, and that you're no stronger than another new player that can just, kill you so easily in PvP, or even out-farm you in a yellow zone or something. But the point is that there's not really a point for new players to do guilds. Guilds are more of an end-game thing. And so what we need is something guilds can do in safe zones besides like faction warfare, which not a lot of guilds do that. There's got to be something to incentivize guilds, and you got to take away their ability to screw over players. The thing is, I think it's called Murphy's Law. If something bad can happen, it will. And so what happens is you just have guilds that raise the tax to 100, and they take all the money, and people don't know it, and then like a couple weeks later, they learn, "Oh, all my money I've been picking up has been going to some guild." And then they ask for it back in the chat, and then they get kicked out, and then they quit the game and go play something else, and then the Stillfront stock price keeps crashing down. So, again, these things have to be fixed. So I want to talk about something else, and that is ways to socialize or bond with players that does not involve already having friends, or Discord, or forums. And that is, if you look at even World of Warcraft back in 2008 had a group finder, all right? A way to form a party with other players through the mechanics of the game. And so what this means is that if, right now, this is something that, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. If you don't play this game, if you're a shareholder listening to this, or if you're someone who hasn't done this, but when I first started playing this game, back in the day, or rather, once it went free to play, one of my things I wanted to do was be a main tank for group dungeons. And I had a few friends that played, but I didn't really have a hardy group of buds to play with. So what I would do is I would just go in looking for group chat, be like, "Hey, I'm forming a dungeon group, blah, blah, blah. I'll tank. We'll go to the red zone. We'll go to the black zone. We'll do a group dungeon." 100% of the time, someone in that group had friends that they would summon to gank us. 100% of the time, someone would immediately drop group, or multiples would drop group and kill everyone else instantly. And I mean, people do this all the time. It's the most memed about thing. Someone made a cartoon about this, all right, where they take a new player into a dungeon, and then they go off screen, and then they flag up in PvP, they drop party and kill him, and take all his stuff. And that is, it happens so much that players will just quit the game. Players aren't going to go suck toes on a Discord or try to butter up someone in some guild to get a group dungeon going, only for it to happen again and again and again. And even in guilds do this. If you're in a guild and they know you're transporting gear, they hop on alt accounts and gank you. If it's so prevalent in this game because it's literally a dog-eat-dog world, or it's a everyone just kills everyone else to try to scrap what they can, and they don't care about the bonds they make. So this game has to do something about that. It needs to have, if you're in a party with someone, and you're in a full loot zone, and you're PvP, like if you're in the black zone, and I'm partied with this Deathgiver R1 guy, I can just leave party and immediately attack him. No cooldown. What you have to do is, if you're in a party, and you leave party, give it like a whole 30-second cooldown before that dude can fight you or something, okay? Something, or like a cooldown, like this player is leaving the party in 30 seconds, or like pop up a warning, this player has left your party and he may try to attack you in 20 seconds. Prepare accordingly, but whatever. Something has to change, but not even just that. Is, like, yes, this game has a group finder. No one uses it. There's no incentive to use it. There's no reason to use it, and even if you were to use it all damn day long, 24/7, there is nothing good that comes of it, ever. You need something in the game to get players together. So what I recommend, here's the thing that I really like, here's something that needs to be added to the game. If I was in charge, like on some board meeting, and I had some kind of influence or power of the game, this is what I would do. Now, you guys know what the safe portal is, right? You go to the safe portal, you pay money, it teleports you randomly into the black zone, and you can have a little adventure. You can go kill some mobs, do some dungeons, maybe do some open world camps, fight people, gather, it doesn't matter. You have your little adventure. So what we need is a group safe portal. You click the portal, you will be assigned a group based on what option you want. Like, I want a gathering party. I want a dungeon party. I want to do this. So you click the safe portal. It will then queue you up with a group of people, and once everyone accepts, like an arena match, think of it like an arena match. Once everyone accepts, you and everyone in the group, depending on what you're wearing, you can check what everyone else is wearing before you accept, you all get teleported into the black zone together, and then you play with your new friends. And if they try to leave party, there's a cooldown, or it is what it is. I don't know. But like, that would instantly make the game infinitely more fun, okay? And this needs to happen in multiple ways, like faction fighting. All right, if I can go to the Bridge Watch captain lady and tell her, I want to find a group to capture outposts, and she'd be like, hell yeah, brother. Let me find you some brothers. Here's a healer. Here's a nuker. Here's an invisible ganker. Here's an 8.4 awakened guy. Which one do does everyone want to party up? Hell yeah, let's go. Oops, the healer said no. Find me another healer then. Something like that. And that would make this game infinitely more fun and playable. And this brings me to my next part about making memories. Also, I just want to include this in the video. There you go, E-Court. I know you hate farts. This game needs voice chat. Now, when I talked to the former CEO of the game on Twitter, he didn't really like this idea. He even kind of he was like, well, what successful games have this? Or MMORPGs, I don't know. But now that he's out, the new guys can get this in. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, a lot of mean stuff will be said over voice chat. If I'm in town, this China Chan guy will be screaming, give me silver, please, whatever. I don't know. Maybe he won't. Or this guy, this NZ4R guy might call me a slur. Whatever. You can turn this on and off at will. Maybe have it off by default. I don't know. But, yeah, bad things will happen, but also good things will happen. There was a recent game that got insanely popular called Repo. All right, it's a game where you play as like the little android phone robot. I don't know what they are, but you're like a furniture moving team. You pick up stuff and you sell it, and there's monsters that try to kill you. I don't know the game because I've never played it, but I have seen endless clips of the game where people are saying the dumbest things while they play to each other. And that stuff is what sells a game. That's what gets people into your game. And right now, Albion needs people to get into the game. So instead of watching a ZVZ clip of a Discord chat where someone's like, go left, 3, 2, 1, and then everyone dies. Normies don't care about that. What normies care about is someone using a voice changer to make their speech sound really slow, saying memes from the Minecraft movie, like, it's a crafting table. This is an ender pearl, right? That's what people think are funny, and yet it's stupid, but that's what's going to sell your freaking game, is some clip on Twitter or TikTok or YouTube or whatever of someone saying something really silly and goofy in a voice chat, right? Like, there's a viral clip of someone's playing, like, Resident Evil, and they're like, why is Lara Croft on this screen? Is this a mod? And then right as they say that, Master Chief pops up on the screen, and everyone laughs. And that clip's got hundreds of millions of views, and it's like, what? Yeah, if you add voice chat to your game, there's an infinity possibility of moments, of random happenings to happen with the voice chat that someone will clip, and then suddenly your game is popular. And now not PewDiePie, he doesn't play games anymore. Markiplier is now playing your game, and you don't need a Swole Benji anymore because you have all the big YouTubers, the actual big boy YouTubers, okay? So adding voice chat gives you that possibility of that happening. Yes, there is, again, the bad, but you have to take the bad with the good, and there's ways around it, okay? People aren't, someone's gonna clip someone saying the N-word 50 million times and slamming their keyboard on the desk when they're in some esport fight, sure. But, people aren't not playing the game because of one streamer going overboard. I forget his name, starts with a D. I don't even remember the guy's name. See, it's not memorable because it's not something people really talk about. Oh, his name's Delore. That's his name. Yeah, he always has little rage outs. And look in the chat. Look, I'm having the bestest day. I got to see my heroes. They misspelled my name. Swole Benji. You saw Swole Benji? Like, see? I'm famous. You got a famous guy playing your game? Be on my team, damn it. The old CEO, the old leadership, they didn't even try to work with me. They just blacklisted me immediately because I called the Game Master janitor 5 years ago. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Oh, look, a new referral reward from one of my videos. Thanks. Mwah. Even this Robin Hood guy says, a Benji GOAT, which means greatest of all time for you old coots in the Stillfront offices that don't play these video games. Never have I seen a community hate its GOAT. And then look at the mod. Look at the Janny. Let's not discuss Benji. Smiley face. No, let's discuss Benji. Oh, you're a member of Ocular. You mean that guild that's freely allowed to advertise on Reddit without punishment? Let's join their Discord. Yes, stand up against the Janny. The Janny says, I don't dislike him, but he's a divisive figure. No, just trying to get people away from talking about me means you hate me. End of and simple as. And look at him stand up against this Janny. It's not against the TOS to talk about Benji. And the thing is, it's a vocal minority that hate me in this game, whereas the silent majority love me, alright? And, let's check in on that one guy I told not to buy the game. His response was, damn, bro, for real, I need a good MMORPG. Now, that's a lost sale. That guy could have bought premium for a year. You know, that's at least over $150 in sales. Right there, gone. Oops. Should have treated me nicely. And again, I understand that you may think that I'm some pushy American or whatever, and that it's culturally weird, but no, this is called standing up for yourself. This is called not letting people walk all over you. This is called not letting people bully you. This is called having pride in one's self-worth, all right? And again, I'm easy to work with. I'm a very nice guy if you're just nice to me. And I was nice at first, but then y'all were mean, and then I have to be mean back because I'm not going to just be nice to someone that's mean to me, right? It's simple. Now, I'm not one to pay people to say nice things about me, but, this guy's been pretty cool, so I'm just going to toss him a bunch of money here. There we go. And, yeah, it's a joke, guys. Next up is compensation when there is a major patch that changes something drastically in the game. Now, this is mainly something that a lot of Chinese games do, but if you have a lot of downtime, and Albion's done this one time. I think there was the game was down for a day and a half, so they gave everyone 3 or 5 days of premium. I forget. I don't remember, but that was good. People loved that. People were talking positive about the game. They were coming back to the game. Hell, I was logging on all of my alt characters and taking advantage of that compensation, right? But let's say, and you got to be a little more targeted with it, right? Let's say you have maximum spec in Hood of Tenacity, okay? I don't know why I picked this. It was just the first thing I clicked on. And a patch completely reworked it to do something else. Well, what if that something else doesn't fit my playstyle anymore? And that's happened before. And so now I have wasted all this time leveling this up. So what kind of compensation would you give, or what you should give, is a free respec where you can freely yoink this down to 1 without the penalty and without the cost, so that you can put all of that time invested into something different. And I think that this game could really use some free respecs, alright? But you'd have to figure out the compensation. But also, speaking of compensation, I was in a top 10 guild, and I never received my guild chest that I was supposed to. And the game was like, hey, if you want your guild chest, like this happened to a lot of people, not just me. And they were like, if you want your guild chest, you have to open a support ticket and ask for it. And a lot of people ended up getting the wrong chest, that they were supposed to get a better one. But it is what it is, and me being an already super wealthy player, I just never bothered because I'm lazy, and what's going to be in that chest, like a couple 100,000 or something? Yeah, I could have a baby mammoth. Oh, whoop-de-doo. 160 million is a drop in the bucket for me, and actually I think mammoths are worth more now, but the point is that you got to work on your compensation game. Oh, would you look at that? Transport mammoths, at least masterpiece ones, are 274 million. They've raised by over 100 million in the past year. So, player shops are probably a 0.00001% of the player base thing. I'm talking about all of these little shops here. The absolute majority of everyone that plays this game will never own a shop, has no willpower or need or want to own a shop. And this is literally for spreadsheet, sweatlord, cartel, Discord dorks to use and abuse on a whim, alright? Almost any normal person who doesn't want to suck toes in a cartel Discord is never going to ever buy one of these plots for the ridiculous price or try to run a shop, because if they aren't bending the knee to the cartel abuses the in-game mechanics to drain their food and durability and yada yada yada, making it completely unprofitable so that the person loses money. Because at the end of the day, the cartel, all they care about is control. It isn't even about money anymore. They're like Disney. They're going to continue to release weird movies with bad actor choices just because they want to push a narrative rather than make money. And so you as the developer and you Stillfront as the owner of the game, you got to do something about player shops. I would, in my opinion, just get rid of them and have static, system-owned NPC shops like every other game ever, alright? And, like, because a player-owned shop brings nothing to the game except to the people that collude in a Discord together. They are the only ones that benefit from this whatsoever. Everyone else loses. Everyone else. Something also must be done about Black Zone hideout crafting advantages over the entire game. Just 1 or 2 guys with an army of alt accounts in a Black Zone Tier 8 Quality 5 hideout can completely bend the market to their will. And I know people are going to say, well, they should because they are in the end game of end game zones. Is Quality 5 not the highest? Quality 6? Whatever. You know, the highest quality zone, whatever that may be. Maybe it's Quality 6 now. I don't know. But the point is that these guys can absolutely outmuscle everyone in the economy simply because they suck enough toes to have an entire guild not only protect them, but also help them transport from Black Zone hideouts. Because if you craft in a proper Black Zone hideout with enough power cores or whatever the hell, you get an advantage on the return rates of your resources, so much more than anyone in a player-made town. So if you get rid of the player-made stations and make them system stations, you can't give the Black Zone people an advantage. If anything, the reason that they should be able to craft in crafting stations in the Black Zone is to easily supply themselves in the Black Zone rather than have to transport from Royal Zones, alright? But that's just me. But, again, you would have to do your market research and stuff, but I think that players in general would love this change more than the players that take advantage of it. And that ties into the silver sync thing I'm talking about as well. Like me, most people who are smart and do their research are not incentivized to ever level armor or weapon crafting. Because if they don't do the whole guild sucking toes thing, there is no point ever to do this. The only time I ever really did it was when I was new and didn't know what I was doing, or whenever I wanted, you know, first dibs on an astral staff here, okay? But other than that, like, anyone who knows what they're doing, they're going to do cooking or potions, because those things aren't dictated by a bonus crafting in a Black Zone hideout. Next up is item power caps in the yellow zones and lethal and non-lethal mists. Now, let me tell you guys a little history lesson here. Back in the day, around 2019, early 2020, I believe, there were IP caps in the blue and yellow zones. So what this means is that if you took a full 8.3 set and you went out here to like Sanddrift Step, you were as strong as someone in 4.2 gear. You had a slight, tiny little, maybe 20 IP advantage over them or something due to how the scaling worked. But other than that, they could still kick your butt if they knew what they were doing. They were not completely and utterly outmatched to the point where they could not fight back or compete for resources or get their mob kills stolen by you, right? Like, if I put on full 8.4, I can bully everyone in the entire zone, which, I'm a sadist. I love to bully people in video games. I will admit that. I absolutely love it, okay? So I can just go right out here to Lazy Grass Plain, and I could down a bunch of people. And when you beat someone up in a yellow zone, what happens is they can't play the game for 3 minutes, and they take a durability loss. So I can run around the zone all day long and just down everyone that I want. And all I lose is a tiny little bit of reputation, which all I have to do is go kill some mobs and get it all back in minutes. It is real easy to farm that rep right back up because there is almost no reputation penalty for downing people players in a yellow zone. But with an item power cap, it wouldn't matter that my gear is 8.4. It would matter if my build counter's theirs, if I can outplay them, and so on and so forth. So it gives people more of a fighting chance, but at the same time, people like me just wear 8.4 gear, and we stay in the safe zones because it's faster and easier and lazier. I can simply put on a bunch of anime and TV shows and smash mobs, instantly one-shot an entire camp full of mobs, whereas a new player who needs these yellow zones to, like, you know, slowly advance their character has to wait for the respawns and slowly kill them one at a time in a struggle to the death. Where a new player in crappy gear is going to take like a whole 20 to 30 seconds to kill a few mobs, where I'm going to ride up and punch them once and they're all dead immediately. And that, like, that's stupid, okay? That is essentially leveling up my character. Like, think of other MMORPGs. Like, in World of Warcraft, if you take your maximum geared character, or let's say you're very high level, not fully level capped, and you go to the starter zone, and you go punch a wolf in the face, instantly killing it, why... That wolf will not give that player full rewards. It won't even give them any XP at all. They get nothing for it other than a few copper worth of scrap if they're lucky. Whereas the new player is going to get, boom, 100 XP when they kill that wolf, and some useful items. Maybe a new gear upgrade or something, right? That's how other MMORPGs work. But this one, that's not how it works. It incentivizes banking your XP, called Combat Fame Credits, which is right here at the top of the screen. And, yeah, I'm just going to sit in a safe zone with my maximum gear, one-shotting everything and accumulating that number more and more and more. And I think that's great. I think that's honestly great, but new players will just see that and quit the game. They're like, well, I can't level up here because these experienced veteran players already have my spot taken. And they'll go on the forums and read AstroTurf posts about how they should go to the Black Zone. So they go do that, and then they die and lose everything, and then they're like, okay, this game sucks, and they leave. And that sucks. Now, this game, even though I am like the king of Yellow Zone, I am the Yellow Zone warrior, right? Even I will admit the game was infinitely more fun back in the day when there was an IP cap in the Yellow Zones, alright? And again, me as an experienced veteran, super wealthy player would be absolutely fine with Yellow Zone's IP capped. And I think anyone who says otherwise, it has a weird agenda. That they want the bullying to continue so bad in the Yellow Zone that it pushes people to the Black Zone. That's not how that technically would ever work. But yeah, the game was more fun with IP caps. And now about the mists. Every time I go, I'm a billionaire, and I have maximum spec. When I go into the mists, I'm not fighting people in reasonably priced sets of gear. I'm fighting people with like whale sets that just card swipe. I don't card swipe. I don't spend a dime on this game. I am a self-made billionaire, and even I would not spend, you know, 10, 20 million on a gear set only to lose it to some 8.3, 8.4 Death Giver meta slave in like 8 minutes, right? Oh, this set will last me 8 minutes. I might get a good fight today. Oops, died to a meta slave. I'm not doing it, and neither is anyone else, especially if they're poor and they're not card swiping. So who are the mists for? You know who the mists are for? It's for these dorks here on the PvP ranking chart. You know where Juan fights? He fights in the mid. Look, in the mists, April 4th. He killed that guy. He killed that guy in the mists. He killed that guy in the mists. He's not out here in the open world. He's not out here doing ZBZs. He's not. Yeah, he can totally kill everyone he wants wherever he wants. But he only cares about this number going up, and so he knows that the most efficient place in the whole game to do that is in the mists. Now look at his deaths. Who is killing him? Look at, well, that guy's not really that juicy. Well, that guy's naked. Oh, wait. No, huh? What? Okay, this is clearly a rat. This is a rat build, so this guy got pretty lucky. He had 2 assists, right? Juicy. Let's see. Okay, another rat. 17 assists. That's in the open world. Whatever. Okay. Again, a lot of rat. He only seems to die to rats. Okay, bad example. But yeah, we would have to look at someone else, I guess. Goes to show that the best PvPer isn't dying to fair fights. Now, see, if I'm in the mists and Juan wants to fight, I can never win because he's going to gear outmatch me. That means game not fun, game not good, go play some other game. But I would be fairly confident I could take on Juan, being a challenger level League of Legends player, me, not him, if our item power was the same. And you may be thinking, well, why don't you put on 8.4 Awaken to go fight him? Because I don't want to lose 200 million. I just don't want to do that. Especially when someone comes by after our fight and then rats us and takes it. That's stupid. Now, if item power caps were in play, I could put on 4.2 or 4.3. And then when I see him in also 4.3, because he's smart, he's not going to wear 200 million worth of gear for 20 more item power. Or maybe he will. I don't know. Then I'll be like, yeah, that was a good fight. I lost, probably, maybe, but it was a fun and good fight, and I didn't lose too much silver for that fight, okay? And I would go again and again, and so would a lot more people. But instead, they just don't go, or they just don't play the game. It's time to revert the cost of islands and guild creation. This is a gatekeeping mechanic that was put into the game to discourage alt accounts, but most importantly, it was to discourage early player silver generation. And so this change happened shortly after I put out a very highly viewed guide that detailed that new players, one of the first things they should ever set up was their own guild island and their own personal island and put laborers and furniture on it. And so here's the thing, right? Technically, islands and laborers are a silver sink in of themselves, kind of, sort of, but to the players and not to the system. So it's more like a semi-sync, I guess. Like a little bit goes to the system and the rest goes to the other players who are taking advantage of that. But what happens now is new player wants to make guild. To make guild island costs too much. They don't want to sink a whole million. That's going to take them 4 to 5 hours to get their first time, not knowing what they're doing. If they're smart, if they're not smart, and a lot of people aren't smart, it's going to take them like 2 weeks to do this. And they're not going to do it. They're going to look at that price and they're like, nah, I'm good. And the same goes for kitting out their islands. Like right now, it used to, back in the day, it used to take 3 months, and that's a lot of time for a gamer. 3 months to earn the amount of silver that you spent on a guild island from the revenue generated by the guild island. 3 months. You know what it is now? At the best possible return rate, it is 8 months. And that is for a tier 5 guild island. For a tier 8 guild island, it's like a year or two. It's like 1 or 2 years. That's right. get the island and then spend 2 years paying it off. Yikers. That is some real life BS right there, okay? So no one's going to do that. No new player is going to care to do that. And the thing is, if new players can't acquire wealth early on, and I'm not expecting, them to make a fortune, technically it's pennies, okay? They're generating pennies worth of silver each and every day per guild island, right? And they made this change because they saw Soul Benji made a guide telling everyone to make a guild, and so all the new players who didn't pay attention just open the menu, make a guild, and lose all their money. And yeah, it's really, really weird that the old guard or the old people in charge would make that change, but that is what it is. It needs to be reverted. All right, so the next one is the global discount. Now, this is not something that we have seen in a while, but it will eventually rear its ugly head in once again. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're like, but Soul Benji, a global discount means everything is cheaper. That's good. In this case, it's not, and I'm going to half reveal why. The reason I'm only going to reveal half of the reason is because members of my YouTube channel, that is when you go down below and you click join, you pay $5 a month, you get videos that you can only watch those videos if you're a channel member. They are too good for the public, and one of them explains how you can use the global discount to become an immediate billionaire. And I know that's a big boast. That is a big claim that you can use the global discount and somehow just magically become a billionaire. But this is why we need to get rid of it. And I know I'm not going to explain how you would do that, but I'm going to explain kind of sort of how global discount works. So the global discount is based on the price of gold. Right now the price of gold is 7.8k silver. And the way it works is if this number goes too low, then things bought and sold by vendors become discounted. That means seeds, baby animals, and journals and so forth and such, right? And there's a lot of other things like transmute costs, repairs, the safe portal. There's a whole lot of things, even travel costs. Like if you teleport to another city, the cost of, upgrading your islands, all of those things suddenly become cheaper, up to 50% off. So if I go into this journal here, I'm going to tell you right now, there was a recent change per probably Robin Hinkies. I don't know who did the change. Maybe it was Retro Man. I don't know. But the point is that due to an AI that now controls the economy, which, by the way, I mentioned over a year ago in my Albion Online iceberg video. All of that stuff is true, and all of it's coming true. I'm not a time traveler. I'm just clairvoyant, okay? But the point is that right now, this AI that is manipulating the Albion economy, its drop rates, its silver sinks and faucets, it has not only, there is no global discount, but there is a global tax, and the game is not telling you about it. This novice journals, their normal price when there is no discount is 500, but right now, the AI has dictated 60. This is I think a 12 or 13%, I forget the exact percentage, but this is an increase in the cost. I think it's 12% right now. So we, as a player base, are paying a 12% tax on everything from NPC vendors, including travel and blah, 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 right? And according to some guy on the Albion TV stream, I don't know who because I can't match voices to names. I'm autistic like that. Also because I don't know who they are enough. But the point is that those guys work for Sandbox Interactive, believe it or not. And they said that price is going up 0.2% every day. So that means in 1 year's time, we're going to be paying almost $1,000 for the same book. And well, what that means is this number to pay for premium only go up. At least in my expertise, in my analysis, that's what that means. But who knows? However, these Albion TV twerps, they say that they're aware of it, that Sandbox Interactive is aware of it, and they might make adjustments as needed. So we'll see what happens. But the reason the global discount just needs to go is because this game is not a real-life economy. We don't need it to be a real-life economy. If you want to buy a book, it should be $500 every time. It shouldn't one day suddenly, all of a sudden, because Robin Hinkies had a nightmare and he didn't, take his sleeping pills or whatever, wakes up and says, let's adjust the global discount today, without announcing it to anyone except the round table. Let's tell them a whole week in advance so they can prepare. Right? And so, the round table, for those that don't know what that is, and that also needs to go, is a group of selected players. Mostly it's pay pigs, and a pay pig is someone that donates to the game in absurd amounts, okay? When you're spending $400 a month on swiping your card, you get in the round table. When you lead a massive guild that isn't called Swole Benji on YouTube, or Alliance or whatever, with over, 3,000 players, then you also get in the round table. When you are a YouTuber with 500 subscribers, but Robin Hinkies follows you on Twitter, then you get in the round table. And the round table is a big circle the wagons, fart sniffing contest, where everyone who simps for the game gets to have insider data and details, where they get to play a very special test server that we riffraff don't get to play, that has all the new crystal weapons a whole 5 days before any YouTuber like me could cover it, giving them a monopoly on knowledge, but also they get a monopoly on all patch changes before it happens, even secret ones that happen, so that they can take full advantage of it before anyone else can, and continue to just own the economy. And a lot of the people that work for SBI play the game, and they use these advantages. Now, I'm a billionaire. It doesn't really affect me too much that someone else has an edge economically over me. I have more than enough silver to retire on, and I have retired, all right? But a new player doesn't. A new player who wants to be a helmet crafter for, say, the Mage Cow, which had a poison spell, and they're like, I really like this helmet that gives me a poison spell. And they go all in, and they dump all their investments into it, and they want to be the guy that crafts this helmet. Oops, a patch made it a fire breath spell. Oops. Now they hate the game and they quit. They just quit, all right? But again, channel members have the secret sauce to the global discount. So when that happens again, they're all going to be billionaires, and we're all going to sit back and laugh. All right? And me, I don't even do the thing that I would need to do because I already had the money, so someone else would clearly do it. And yeah, it's going to be funny to see someone that barely plays the game with maybe 5 million silver in their bank account just, oops, I'm a billionaire now, thanks. And then they just max out their character buying tomes, because that's what's going to happen the next time anything fiddles with that global discount. So just get rid of it so that you don't accidentally overnight a bunch of billionaires. All right, the game also needs merch sales. I don't know a single big game that doesn't sell merch. What are you guys doing? I played this game called Palia, and they had a sale on this little plushie of the animal, and those things sold out immediately. Immediately sold out, bros. And I think League of Legends sold the little fluffy white snowball creature monsters, and those sold out immediately. So I'm not saying that Albion Online has things that people would want to buy. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But they could at least sell the t-shirts or something. I mean, come on now. You don't see anyone in real life wearing an Albion Online t-shirt because they don't exist. And if you Google it, they exist, but that's being sold by, weird third-party sites that aren't official merch. I don't know, man. Alright, so here's the solution to fix RMT forever, kinda, sorta, not really. Now, Blizzard did this with Diablo 3 back in the day, but then they kind of stepped off of it for some reason, and I don't know why. I think it was making players advance too quickly in the game, and not for other financial things. But here's how it would work. Let's say that you want to sell your silver for real money. So you would sell it to SBI, sort of kind of like the gold market when you open the gold menu, kind of like this. And you would sell it at a rate of 1 million of your silver goes to SBI, and you get 10 cents. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm going to tell you right now, the top guilds are selling for 30 cents, and regular players are selling for 50 cents. And the game in the cash shop is selling for $1.25 to $2. I don't know exactly. It's up there, though. Now, when other players buy silver, not gold, but silver from SBI, they would pay $1 for 1 million silver. And the way this would work is that whenever you sell your silver to SBI, it's not immediate. It's kind of like a middleman service where, SBI holds on to that silver, and then when someone buys it, and when it's your turn to be that person who they're buying it from, SBI will then take the silver and give it to the buyer and then give you the 10 cents. Now you may be thinking, well, who's going to cash out 10 cents? Well, you'll have to do this in a way that a player must accumulate $100 before SBI will cut them a check or direct deposit into their bank account, okay? Blizzard did this in Diablo 3 for a little while, and it worked amazing. All right, I remember I was, in my first week playing Diablo 3, I found a Storm Shield, and that thing was worth, like, $500. And, I didn't sell it, because I was like, I'm gonna use this shield. And then 3 days later, the value dropped to 200. Then another day, down to 50, down to $10. And it bottomed out at, like, $4 or $5. And then I still never sold it, but I should have sold it on that day. Man, I could have had 500 buckaroonies. But back then I had a retail wagey job anyway, and whatever. And I lived with my parents, so I didn't really need a lot of money. But the point is, is that if SBI did this, then it would be a safe, secure way for people to buy and sell silver. It would also incentivize people to earn more silver through in-game activities. Like me, maybe I would have hundreds of islands going. Now, me personally, 10 cents per 1 million ain't gonna do nothing to pay my bills, but if I lived in Brazil, I guess, or wherever it is that people have a really low cost of living, then they might be more incentivized to play the game. Now, of course, you would still have to ban and check people, selling silver for more than 10 cents, because there still will be people that would sell to other players, because other players want to buy silver at the cheapest possible place. But if you get really, really uppity with your bans, then it will, de-incentivize people. And I think SBI does a good job of banning RMT, but you would have to ban all RMT, not be selective about it. There's a certain Twitch streamer who's quite popular who RMTs, and he without naming his name, it sounds like a unit of measurement with the letter E at the start of it, okay? We'll just say that, all right? But also, there's many guilds, the top guilds that RMT, almost all of them do, right? That's the whole reason they even do manage their guilds. They're not doing it for the glory of the game. They're doing it to make money, and that's, that sucks. You have to punish everyone. You can't just punish the one little twerp. You gotta go for the big fish, too. Alright, this video got really long for some reason, so let's wrap it up with our thoughts on the supposed orange zone. So if this is real and not some collaborated April Fool's joke between Mogdun and Coco or whoever, then here's my thoughts, okay? If a orange zone is introduced, I know it's an orange zone because grammar, but whatever, who cares? I think it's just for a very few selective game modes, like maybe Hellgates or maybe some sort of new Hellgate-ish thing where you have an infinite dungeon that you go into, and the deeper you go, the higher chance you have of fighting another player in said dungeon, and the deeper you go, the better the loot rewards, and so you risk it all having to fight another player who will then kill you and get all of the rewards themselves. I think that's what it is, while at the same time not losing your precious gear set. Now, my thoughts also on the orange zone are that if you don't IP cap the orange zone, every single person with a brain is going to run full 8.4 awakened gear, because why the hell would you not? If you don't have any risk of losing the gear, and you want to keep the loot you've acquired by fame farming or doing boss layers or whatever it is you do in these orange zones, then why would you not go in your best possible gear? So this means it would only be a playground for the hyper-rich and veterans of the game and not something for new players. But if you do IP cap it, then you're going to have a kind of also an effect where if you're running a PvE set, you're going to run from every fight or be a victim. And if you're a PvPer, you're not going to have any loot anyway, so there's no risk. Oh no, I died in my gank attempt. Empty inventory. All right, we killed the transporter who was forced to transport through the orange zone. They have all the risk, and the ganker has none of the risk. It's kind of like heart transport ganking. When people are heart transport ganking, when I gank them, I have no risk. There is no counterplay. Even if they beat me up and downed me, I don't lose anything. But if they get downed, they lose their heart transport, all of it. And I get a fraction of it as a reward. So I have no reason to also be heart transporting when fighting them. Do you get what I'm saying? There is no like it's going to be a one-sided risk reward if the orange zone is real and if it's in the open world. Now people are like, well, where would a good place be for the orange zone? And my thoughts are, if you put orange zones in between royal cities where players are forced to go through them, this will completely eliminate mammoths. You will never see a whale on a mammoth transporting from Bridgewatch to Martlock ever again. You also are going to highly eliminate anyone transporting hides to Martlock to refine them and then transport them back to Bridgewatch to sell them. It won't eliminate all of them, but it will eliminate some of them. Because, again, you have all of the risk when transporting and none of the reward. Like, the reward just... The juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze, which is ironic because it's colored orange, which is the fruit. Haha, funny joke. Oh, and for those that are unaware of the orange zone rumors, it's not full loot. You keep the gear you use, but your inventory gets dropped on death. So while it's a fun idea, it's impractical, and I'm all for it because why would I ever have any loot? Here's the thing, right? If you're in the orange zone and you get anything valuable, you immediately leave. You just leave. You don't keep it in your inventory. There's like no reason to. So it would just be another redundant zone that more players will get confused by and never use, or everyone will flock to it. But my prognosis is that if you're in a gank group, like a serious one, the real money would be in red zones, maybe. But if transporters are forced to go through orange zones, this gives all of the power to the gank squad, because the blue police will not exist in the orange zone, because the blue police, their reward of killing the gankers is the gankers' gear. Whereas if gankers kill a transporter in the orange zone, they just leave and go bank. With zero risk, they just leave. And if the blue police kills the gankers, oh no, a repair bill. And the gankers come right back and kill the blue police and then the transporter. Like, all it does is it's going to take all of your yellow zone gankers and your red zone gankers and put them in one zone. And then it's also going to take Zergs and clans and guilds gankers when they're bored. Everyone's going to be wearing full 8.4 Masterpiece Awakened when they're ganking, by the way. And they're just going to kill everything on an Ox, everything gathering, everyone doing a dungeon. Like, if I'm in an orange zone and I see someone enter a solo dungeon, I'm going to go and flag up and then go in the dungeon and stay just behind them where you can't see their nameplate, but I can hear them killing mobs. And as soon as I hear that chest crack open, I'm going to run in with boots and kill them and take their loot. And the person in the dungeon, let's say he's a really good lad and he's like super juicy at PvP. It's Juan. Juan's doing orange zone dungeons and I try to fight Juan. He turns around and beats me up. Oh no, I'm back outside with my gear. I didn't lose anything. Whereas Juan is now inconvenienced, and he doesn't want to do the dungeons anymore, so he just quits the game forever. Or, okay, maybe Juan's a bad example. Let's use a new player. You know, Jose 1 2 3 4 5 6. Is that a real player? Let's see. It is a real player, dude. See, he quit. He got 134 fame and he quit. Wow, that's oh, that's so funny. But the point is, who are orange zones for? And my prediction, if they're real, it's for some sort of 2v2, 3v3 Hellgate game mode or something. Or you just have an infinitely delving dungeon or something. That's my guess. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And let me know what you think. And by the way, I got a few more things to say. And that is, apparently this game, Albion Online, is going to the Epic Game Store. Now, I just want to talk about that for a second. Now, imagine a world, a universe, an alternate reality, where Epic Games, you know, the people that made Fortnite, the most popular game ever, maybe compared to Minecraft or Roblox, I don't know which is the most popular, but Fortnite, super popular, super successful. Who's the big hot shot #1 content creator for Fortnite? It's Ninja. Now imagine a world where Epic Games treated Ninja the way they treated me. Do you think Ninja would be out there Fortnite dancing on New Year's Eve or whatever he did? Or whatever, I don't know. No, he would be hating, he would be like shit talking the game constantly. He'd be like, nah, man, Fortnite ain't for us, man. We play something better. Yo, I don't know his accent, but like, he wouldn't be on Family Feud being like, yeah, Fortnite's a great game. I love Epic Games. They're great people. No, he'd be like, screw those people. Play World of Warcraft. Guaranteed. Right? So maybe in an alternate reality universe, there is a Sandbox Interactive and a Stillfront that treated Swole Benji nicely. Maybe. Maybe there's an alternate universe where I was born a female. Anyway, the point is here's a kiss on your foreheads. Mwah. And so that wasn't a very good one. Mwah. You get 2 kisses for this long video. And with that said, leave a comment. Look, there is a chance that Stillfront executives and stockholders and Sandbox Interactive's new Tobias CEOs, are they twins? They have different last names, but maybe they have a different mom. I don't know. Well, no, they'd have to have different dads. That's how that works, different last names. Anyway, the point is that the new CEOs have the same name, and so maybe they'll work together, or maybe they'll butt heads, like angry siblings. Who knows? But they might be listening, and also, more importantly, they might be reading your comments down below. So let them know that I'm actually a pretty swell dude, and I'm a pretty cool, chill guy. I'm just a chill guy that punches the marmots in my videos, and people get upsetty about it. You know, let them know what you think about the game and what needs to change and what needs to be fixed. Don't comment to me, comment to them. And if the video gets enough views and likes and whatever else, maybe Stillfront will force them to watch it. They'll be like, today's corporate call. We're going to sit here and watch an hour-long Soul Benji video. That would be the funniest thing ever, right? I think I farted earlier in one of the clips. Yeah, they have to... Imagine multi-millionaire CEOs listening to YouTuber farts. Make it happen, people. Click that video on the right side of your screen, and if you don't, the next time you try to, like, peel a hangnail, it's going to bleed badly.